Absolutely badly. Andy, good to be back. First race in this environment for quite a while. Could you explain more about that journey and how it feels to be back?
Yeah, so back in this racing environment amongst, I suppose, the elite end of athletics. This is the first time I've raced like this since 2016, which is bonkers. Yeah. I got the phone call from Graham at Mizuno asking me if I'd come and run in the Podium 5K. First off, it was going to be 5K, but then I think there was a roster of 5K runners that was so much faster than my current level of fitness that he asked me if I'd do the K time trial. And my last race that I did before Christmas was a marathon, so doing a K is absolutely bonkers.
So what was the feeling like? I mean, you can see the atmosphere building up now ahead of the 5K elites this evening, but what was the atmosphere like, you know, racing on this circuit?
I've missed this. It's like you just described it off camera before we were talking about, almost like visceral, like you can hear the coaches, the family, like the training groups all shouting for each other, leaning over the barriers, and it's a really small circuit here as well. I'm freezing cold, but it's like the atmosphere is great, and it's building and building towards the big races tonight.
And you know, you're a 3:49 miler, as you know, going back to your, I guess, heyday. How do you kind of can you compare this to that in a sense? Are there any comparisons?
Oh, I'd love to race in something like this. I think that the innovation from something like the Podium Series is doing a lot for the top end of athletics. Like I see these events, the race under the lights in London, Night of the 10,000s. I know it's slightly different, but those are the things that are getting more people interested. And also, like, you can hear the music, you can hear the cheering, you can see all the flags. Like, there was nothing like this when I was running. So it's just such a massive difference.
And when you think about what you did in your career and where British kind of miling is right now, I mean, we all know kind of ahead of Paris and the Olympics, the strength in depth of British miling. How do you even put that into words, kind of the world that we are living in now?
Yeah, the strength in British, middle distance running is obviously crazy. Like, I was in a generation that we were striving to be the next Co-Cram event, whoever that was. And I felt like I was nearly there. But then seeing what Jake and Josh have done in the last few years, I'm a little bit jealous. I'd love to achieve that myself. But it makes me proud.
As you can say, the amount of people cheering in the background.
Yeah, it's incredible. But it's really like a proud time to be watching it. And it took me ages to be a fan again after I retired. I sort of resented not being able to do it anymore. But then I've had enough time away from it now that I'm cheering those guys on, and the times have moved on with the technology and all of the rest of it. But the level of competition in the racing, I love watching that, and just seeing how we've got men and women that can compete right at the front in world athletics.
I was about to say, how excited are you about athletics in general now? I mean, you've got events like this providing such an atmosphere. You said that you would have loved to have raced in this kind of in your heyday, but then you look at the rivalry between Jakob, Ingebrigtsen and Josh Kerr at a global elite level as well. How do you kind of put that into words, the excitement that you feel for the sport now?
Yeah, I think without rivalries, the sport dies, and there was a real period where there was different people in every Diamond League, or Golden League even, as it was when I was then. And so unless you got one superstar, like pre-me it was El Garouge, and he would win the gold prize at the end of every year from the Golden League. But without that, there was a period where there was very little significant rivalry at the front of distance running, or middle distance running in particular. So I'm obviously biased towards the 8 and 15. There was maybe one person dominating, and then you'd go around the circuit and you'd be trying to tune in and watch as a fan. And you're like, yeah, but this is different people this week to last week.
Yeah.
There's no standings, I don't know. But now, when there's a little bit of I don't know what the word is, but
continuity to an extent,
or just the way that the way Ingebrigtsen's really outspoken. Josh Kerr doesn't mince his words either. So when those two are having a little bit of back and forth, not directly to each other, but in the press, that's exciting. And then I want to see that head to head. And that was what was exciting in the 80s with Co and Yvette. You kind of were backing one or the other. And so, obviously I'm biased to the 1500 metres, but having people where you're rooting for it and you're actually seeing the same rivalry year on year, and you're kind of coming back for it, that's, to me, what's exciting.
And on the subject of kind of getting kind of broader new fans, maybe, even into the sport, we can see how many kind of young people are here cheering as well, and the atmosphere kind of building up to these elite races this evening. How important are events, the innovation side of sports as well, like this, and you mentioned the rivalries at the top kind of Olympic level as well, just for kind of getting athletics out to more people?
yeah, the battle is making people care, isn't it? So if young people will show up to this and get excited in the freezing cold, like, let's be honest, but like there's music, the branding and stuff does make it more exciting to watch it. There's people running incredibly fast times, so people are running kind of, it's a course that's put together to help people run fast. There's there's a timing car driving around in front of them. Being here and watching it, there's a real buzz.
Charlotte, don't look at your watch. Let's go.
So you can't come to this and not love it. That's my summary.
And the adrenaline rush, if you could have got that from this event as well.
I'm buzzing. Like, this is, like I said, it took me a while. More personally because I couldn't do it anymore. I fell out of love with athletics. But then in the last 4 or 5 years, I've really started to build that love for it. And then this is the stuff that I miss. I miss being fast, and I miss being able to compete like this. So seeing people in club vests and friends and family and coaches and stuff shouting for each other, it's that feeling that you don't get in any other way for me.
And finishing off then, Mizuno, how was that kind of journey? How did that happen with MSV?
So with the running channel, we've done quite a bit of work over the last couple of years with Mizuno. Sarah actually went out and ran, Sarah from the running channel who on the podcast with me, she went out and ran a Osaka marathon last year and ran her PB with Mizuno, had that magical experience in Japan. And then Graham from Mizuno actually used to run with my coach Andy Hobdell, so we have a relationship as well. And when he called me up and said, did I want to do this thing here, wear the latest super shoes, the Rebellion Pro 2, and just give it a good go, I was like, yeah, why not? And then for the last few weeks I've been regretting that, but then I loved it.
Nice, perfect. I think that's about it, Andy.